分をわきまえろ試練者が火力勝負といい
So, I know some of y'all been waiting for this guide for a little bit, but today I'll finally go over some basic essential stuff you'll need to actively get better at this game. And I won't be going into too much detail with every character since this is just a general guide that applies to everyone, not just specific individual characters. But without further ado, let's hop straight into it. As usual, if y'all want to skip to a certain section you might struggle with the most, timestamps will be shown on the screen above. Starting with the first section, M1s. Okay, so you need to know different characters have different M1 ranges, and I usually separate them by just doing sword and fist characters. For example, Yuji, Todo, etc. would have like a max range of where I am right now. And then characters like Toji have a much better extensive range like this, and it applies to their entire moveset too. Same with a gun, same with the counter M1s, same with Playful Cloud, and it's just overall really stupid, so you gotta make sure to differ the classes. Okay, one of the most important part about M1s as well is learning the dash tech. I'm not gonna really go too much into detail, but what it just does is it gives you 2 M1s after a dash, which is true by the way. And this is how most one-shot combos are possible, but it's a really useful tech that you must get down, so make sure to watch my dash techniques video. I'll put the link in the description if you want to check it out. Okay, so I'll go over some down slam and upfling uses. The first one for upfling, this is really important on characters like Yuji, etc. because you can do stuff like this in combos and Black Flash, which makes your life 1,000 times better. And then the second use for upfling is doing inescapable grab extenders like Cranium Impact, Shadow Stab, or Neck Breaker. And basically what it does is when they try to evasive immediately off the upfling, you grab them so quickly that they just wasted it and they still get caught into it unless they smash counter, which nobody almost does. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, you saw the little evasive, aura, and he still couldn't escape. Okay, so this is what that would look like from my POV, but with Toji. As you can see, I used evasive, and you saw the little visual effect thing for it too. But this is not completely unpunishable, as Toji or Yuji can counter if they spam dash right after they get upflinged into a Manji kick, for example. So I'll show you an example. As you can see, there is some counterplay to it, but not many people know this, so you're welcome. It also happens to work on Toji, like I said. And this will most likely apply to every counter character in the future as well, so just watch out for that. And now for section 2, blocking. There's not much to cover in this section, but there's something I call 1M1 blocking that can really up your counter game against people, so I'll teach it to you right now. Basically what this is when you block someone's M1 once immediately and then clap back with your own M1, making a really successful counter. Pretty much any character can do this, including all the sword characters. It'll take some time to master though, so make sure to practice this with a friend or something in a PS or a public, whatever you need to do. Just make sure to get this down and you'll be good at it in no time. This is much more useful and contrary to waiting like 2 to 3 M1s where they have time to just backdash away after noticing you block too much. As you can see. And now for section 3, game sense. If you're wondering what game sense is, it's basically just having good knowledge about things that could possibly get you hit first or ruin your combo via evasive, punish, and just things of that nature. This is useful to have because it reduces your chances of losing significantly, even if you play worse than your enemy, simply because your game IQ is just better. I'll show a few examples of what having good game sense can look like, starting off with a Yuji matchup. In a 1v1 scenario, most Yujis are likely going to immediately try to Black Flash right into your face, so you can either counter or dodge it, it's up to you. Here's a few examples. The game sense here is that you can't Manji kick, Curse Smash. You could also call dodging purple last second game sense because it makes it harder for them. And then there's also counter baiting. Most people in like a counter versus counter matchup Whoever hits that counter first, usually when it comes to Yuji, they're going to immediately try to counteract with their own. So if you just don't do anything or pop a black flash to stall, it'll usually fuck them up. I'll show you what that looks like with black flash. And for mode, if your enemy modes first, you should just prolong using yours as long as possible so you can have more time to obliterate them once they're out of theirs, giving you a pretty good advantage. I'd say not to let yourself get too low though, otherwise you'll just die and waste that opportunity. And lastly, section 4, playstyles and what character you should play. So there's 4 main playstyles I see people play primarily, and that's aggressive, passive, counter, and passive aggressive. I'll describe each playstyle real quick for you, and I'll tell you what characters would most likely fit your preference from that specific playstyle, so let's get right into it. Starting with aggressive, this most defines Yuji or Yuta players since they both have some of the highest DPS with good engagement skills, and especially for Yuji because he has his little black flash gimmick that can immediately get you into someone's face and they really can't do too much about it unless they dodge or counter. And for Yuta, his curse slash is a good block bypass combined with his side dash. Or you could even just dash behind them and use Curse Smash to deceive them. These 2 characters really define aggressive players because of the endless possibilities of guard breaking or bypassing and mobility, especially with Yuji. For passive players, you would most likely find yourself on Toji because his kit supports this style, considering he has a counter that doesn't put you in much of a weird situation and he has insane punishing plus M1 range. And for the insane punishing, this is what one blocked M1 could do to the enemy. Pretty fucking stupid. As I mentioned earlier, with your extensive M1 range, you can do something called zoning, which adds further onto your passive playstyle, which is just basically holding S a lot and playing carefully, M1ing anyone who gets near you. This primarily works on Fist characters, but not other Tojis or Yutas since you share the same range. And now for counter, this playstyle revolves around heavily punishing any mistake you see while playing a little bit aggressive but not throwing yourself out mindlessly to get hit easily. This is personally my style I use because it's just my preference and it just works well for me. And this playstyle is really good for Yuji because of his Manji kick plus high mobility. Like I mentioned earlier, the inescapable grab tech with cranium impact, shadow stab, or even neckbreaker is super tedious, but you can get around it by combining evasive with Manji kick. And there's just a bunch of other things you can do, like using Manji kick on someone black flashing you off getup so you can ruin their combo and escape. I'll show a little example of the black flash scenario. The little things you can punish just overall makes this style really nice to play, since you give your opponent next to no room to make mistakes without large consequences. And the last playstyle, passive aggressive. This best fits Gojo or Toto players, but primarily Gojo. Gojo's kit provides you with a long range combo starter or an extender, which happens to be blue, and can be used to punish stuff like a side dash black flash. He also has a really powerful inescapable combo, which gives him his aggressive side. That's pretty much it for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed the little guide I made. If you have any suggestions in the comments for me down below on what to correct or something, feel free to do so. I hope you all have a wonderful evening or day, and I'll see you next time.
領域展開